Mary Joan. What a girl, what a world, what a light. Oh, I'm Mary Joan. What a mind, love is blind, what a wife.
Joan Davis with Jim Backus in
Why, Mary Joan.
Well, here's our problem, gentlemen. Robinson's leaving town, and there's a vacancy on the board. Now, who are we going to get to fill it?
Say, how about Judge Stevens? He'd be a good man.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Judge. Leader in the community.
He was a Navy officer in the last war, I believe. I think he'd be very good for the board.
Okay, then. This is great.
Sure.
I'll have the girl get a letter out to him right away. Uh-oh.
What's the matter, Joe?
Either you fellas ever met Mrs. Stevens?
Yeah. I know Joan.
Well, we can always classify ourselves 1A and escape. I think we can take a chance. Huh?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Mr. Jenkins.
Was that the mailman, Joni?
Uh-huh.
Anything interesting?
Gas company, notice of a lodge meeting, selective service Draftboard 124, telephone. Draftboard? But... Dear Judge Stevens, in accordance with the powers granted by the President of the United States, Selective Service Board 124 would appreciate your appearing before to discuss the matter of your service to our country on Thursday. Fred! Look, Fred, they're going to draft you. Oh, promise me, darling, that you'll make friends with the sergeant and tell them in a nice way, of course, that when it's raining, you can't march. And if they ask you to lift anything heavy, explain to them about your bad back and that you're not allowed to eat fried foods.
Joan,
Better yet, darling, I'll go with you, dear.
Oh, Joan, you...
Oh, Brad, darling, I'll go with you no matter where they station you, sweetheart. I don't care if I have to live in one room and cook over one burner, just as long as we can be together. I'll see that you don't get hurt.
Joan, you...
I know what. Ask the draft board to give you a desk job.
Now, Joan, look.
Oh, promise me you will, darling. Explain to them about your sinuses and your awful heartburn. Oh, why did they have to take you?
Joan, let me see that.
Oh, why couldn't they take someone who's alive?
The kind of draft notification I got the last time. For instance, they say they'd appreciate my appearing before them. Last time it was, you be there or else.
I know, but I hear they're much politer now.
Still, anyway. Well, look, Joan, I'm not in quite as bad shape as you seem to think.
Oh, no. I saw you brushing your teeth this morning. Why, you got so winded you had to rest before you could gargle.
Wait a minute, Joan. A couple of weeks training and I'll be back in condition.
You mean you're not going to ask him for a desk job?
Of course not.
But, honey, what if they make you go on one of those long hikes with full pack? You'd never make it.
Joan,
Well, you just couldn't. But, here, helmet.
Will you please?
Knapsack. See, honey? Look, see, honey? You haven't marched a step and you're already out of breath. I told you that you're not as young as you used to be, dear. Now, listen, promise me that you'll ask them for a desk job. Thank you, dear. I knew you would. You see, you just listen to Mommy and you're going to be all right.
All right. Listen, Mommy, I was in the service for 4 years and never took the beating I just did.
But, Brad...
Now, you listen to me for a change. In the first place, if they put me any place, they'll put me in the Navy because that's where I was the last time.
Oh, yes, the Navy.
Yes, in the second place, let's leave it up to them to decide whether or not I end up in a desk job.
But, lover, do you mean that you'd go on a ship?
Well, if I was assigned there, yes.
But, lover, if you go on a ship, how can I go with you? What'll the other sailors say?
Oh.
And besides, you're a judge. It's practically your patriotic duty to be in the Navy's legal department.
Well, if they think so, that's where they'll put me.
Well, and another thing. Why, you get seasick even looking at a piece of soap floating in the bathtub.
That's not the truth, Joan, and you know it. After all, I spent 3 years on a ship, you know.
Yes, dear, but that's when you were young and healthy. But now, you're miserable on a ship, darling. Promise me that you'll ask them for a desk job.
I will definitely not ask them.
All right, Bradley J. Stevens. If you want to be so stubborn about it, I'll just have to prove to you that you're in no condition to stand Navy life.
Oh, Joan. Oh, Joni, I'm home. Joan, what are you trying...
Now hear this. Now hear this. Chow is now being served in the mess hall.
Joni, I know exactly what you're trying to do. But if you think you can frighten me into talking the draft board into a desk job, you're mistaken.
Now hear this. Now hear this. All Navy personnel will serve themselves.
All right. What are these?
Hardtack.
Couldn't you make softer hardtack? That's a servant.
You forgot your ice cream. Now hear this. Now hear this. The water's getting rough outside. A nor'wester is blowing up. Now hear this. Now hear this. I don't feel so good.
How you feeling now, lover?
I feel a little better, dear.
Now maybe you won't bother me about getting a desk job.
Desk job. All Navy personnel will now hit the sack.
What? Well, it's only 7 o'clock. I can't go to bed now.
Well, you'd better if you want to get any sleep tonight.
Why?
Because tonight you are standing watch from midnight till 4.
What? But Joan, would you...
Can't take it, huh?
Oh, I can't. I'll show you whether I can take it or not.
Yes, dear?
Well, where are the beds?
I had them put in the garage.
In the garage?
Well, I figured an old Navy man like you.
Oh, I get the point. Yes.
Yes, shall we?
What?
Up here, Popeye.
Oh, wait. I can't do it, huh?
Like to see it, that's all.
You'll call my bluff. There we go.
All right.
Top bunk, huh? Here we go. Well, listen. You think it's so easy? Let's see you do it.
I'm not trying going to join the Navy.
Well, just as I thought. All you can do is sit there and laugh like that.
Like that? No, I got lots of laughs. Ho, 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 ha, ha, ha.
Oh, now stop, Joan. You're stalling because you know that it isn't easy.
Oh, no. Let's face it, Fatso, darling. The parade has passed you by.
Oh, yeah? You wouldn't like to make a bet that you can't do it, would you?
Now, just stop, dear, and be a good loser, will you?
I'll bet you a new hat.
Honestly, you're acting like a child with a feather in it?
With a feather in it.
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's make a real contest out of it, huh? We'll take turns. Now, if I get up in here first, I get the hat with the feather on it. And if you get in here first...
You don't get any new clothes for 3 months.
Yes. Hmm? Well...
All right. Bet. Ladies first, you know. Even in the Navy, yes. After you, my dear. There we go. Practical.
Would you like to double the bet? 2 new hats?
All right, you're on. 2 new hats or no new clothes for 6 months.
All right, dear. Now, I'll bet you that I can get into this hammock on the very next try.
All right, that's... Go.
All right, dear.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait up. That's... I mean,
Two new hats. Good night, dear.
6 months without any new clothes.
Ben.
Hello, Joan.
Hi, Harriet.
Joan, are you going away?
Brad's been drafted.
Drafted?
Yes, and I'm going with him. Whether he's stationed in the Pentagon or on a ship, I'm going to be near him, see?
But, Joan,
Oh, excuse me. Sit down, Harriet. Hello? Yes, darling.
You and your ridiculous logic. When will I ever get used to it? 9 years I've been married to you. And still, when you jump to one of your peculiar conclusions, I'm silly enough to follow you.
How? What?
I'm not being drafted at all. They just want me to serve on the board. You read a letter, decide I'm being drafted, and I begin to make plans for leaving. Joan, do you realize the trouble you could have caused me?
Bye, dear.
Joan, what happened?
It's all a mistake. Brad isn't being drafted.
Oh, how wonderful. Oh, I'm so happy for you.
Now we don't have to leave our lovely home. We can stay here after all.
Well, then, for heaven's sakes, why are you acting so sad?
Because this morning I rented the house for a whole year.